So dig this, dude. I took a note. I actually put this in my phone. I was watching something. Or no, I was doing the edit. And at one point in the edit, none of us caught it at the time, but Chad said Saul Guerrera.
Yeah, dude.
Saul.
He said Saul Guerrera. So because the first thing.
Better call
Saul, man.
Guerrera.
No, that's not where I went. I went to like old Jewish guy, like Eddie Murphy in Coming to America, and I was like, okay, so what if Saul Guerrero was Saul Guerrera, and I was trying to picture like an old Jewish guy in the Saw Gerrera armor, like ordering soup at a deli or whatever.
There was totally. There was a Jerky Boys character, Saul Rosenberg. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Well, initially I was hurt by his words. I listened, dude. I played that Jerky Boys tape till it fucking fell apart.
Hello, my name is Saul Rosenberg.
We can walk on the beach and step on pissed clams.
Yes, exactly.
There you go, dude. That's right.
Well, that's well, there you go.
My assy nipples.
Yeah.
What's all over my ass and
nipples.
genitalia?
I'll bring my shoes and glasses so I have them there.
That shit was so good when I was fucking 13.
Oh my god, it was the fucking best, dude.
I just remember bits and pieces of that.
Clearly the good bits.
Shit.
Shall we do this?
Yeah. Let's get to it, man.
Hey, there, fellas. Look here. Stand by.
One for C-Lab, two for Joy Ego, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band. This is the
This is
blog.
Saul
This
Guerrera.
episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, Saul Guerrera.
We'll go to the beach and step on piss clams.
I'm Saul Guerrera. Anyway, welcome to the show, folks. With me, as always, of course, is the incomparable head in a Ben in a jar. Higo.
Head in a Ben in a jar. That sounds like a turducken or something. That's weird.
I'm into
Kinda
it.
like, yeah,
Slice that shit
kinda
up.
like
I'll
that.
take
Or,
a piece.
you know what? I should have used your new name, which is Code Cylinders.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
And of course, the always forgettable slave. 2 weeks.
What's up? How are you?
Welcome. This week, as promised, we're continuing our little sort of
Andor Fest.
modern age Star Wars love fest with Rogue One, straight off the heels of Andor Season 2. And of course, we're excited about that. Even though we've talked about it a little bit in the past, we're going to dig in a little bit more. Let's get into some high level.
I have some level that's so fucking high that I'm kind of high.
Oh boy. Go.
Did you guys see the teaser for Spaceballs 2?
No.
I did.
Spaceballs 2. It's coming.
With who? Like Mel Brooks? Or like
Yep.
what? Like
I don't know if they're going to get Moranis out of retirement, but they fucking better.
Confirmed.
He's out of retirement, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, dog.
that's great news.
Yeah. Confirmed that Moranis is out of retirement. And
so
apparently, Christ, I can't remember his name. Bill Pullman's son.
Oh.
Louis Pullman.
Louis Pullman. Yeah, it's going to be playing a character called like Starburst, I think.
I hope they do like a
he's-
Kylo Ren piss take, man.
but he's Lone Star's son.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so into it. It's like, I don't know, man. I have so much room for it to be terrible. I don't even give a fuck. Like, just go for it, man.
It would have been great to have Bill Pullman come back, dude. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter how old he is. It's a fucking comedy movie. They could have just had so much
He'll
fun
probably
with
come
that,
back,
dude.
man.
I'm sure, right? I hope
still
so.
alive.
No, yeah, I don't mean that. I don't think that because
You didn't mean
Louis Pullman's
replacing.
in it, that Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
No, he's not replacing him. He's his son. So
John Candy, obviously.
yeah, I imagine there's going to be
not coming back.
no. I imagine there'll be like legacy characters and then some obviously some new additions.
Maybe we'll get somebody else to play Barf.
But I just love that. Yeah. I kind of just love that announcement happened in between episodes here. And I just feel like, my favorite Star Wars movies is the original trilogy, then Spaceballs, then some of these movies. And, the prequel, sequel trilogy can go fuck itself. But yeah, go Spaceballs. The trailer is really funny. It's just an infinite crawl of information.
Right.
Yeah, and the dissection of like the Star Wars franchise. It's like the sequels of the prequels and the prequels of the sequels. And
in the show, there's a sequel
the
to the
sequel, prequel, sequel.
Good.
It's really
good.
funny.
I'm glad. Dude, it's about fucking time, man. Jesus Christ. I feel like
TV shows about the movies and movies about the TV shows. And
it's really funny.
Yeah, it's very
high level. Chad, go.
My high level here was I really enjoyed watching this again, especially with the context of Andor season 2. Maybe it's not controversial, but I now like the shows significantly more than this movie. I like this movie.
Wow.
I just really like I don't know, maybe I just like the depths that they were able to go into with so much time on the show.
Sure.
And this was a much more traditional Star Wars-y, action-y, get to the point kind of movie. It had a lot of heart and stuff. Like, I have nothing to really complain about, but the slow burn of season 2 was just so enjoyable and not enjoyable because of the subject matter, that it was just way more compelling. But I don't know, it culminates well, and it's a good movie. And seeing K2 and him being really funny was enjoyable. And there's a lot to like. I definitely like it. I'd probably put Andor season 1 and 2 after the original trilogy for me in terms of the ranking of Star Wars, and then this, and then Mando, and the rest of it can go fuck itself.
Nice.
In terms of the movie, I had a good time. I like it.
Benny.
So in preparation for season 2 of Andor, Ms. Snaps and I watched season 1 of Andor again. And she'd never seen Rogue One, so we watched it. Ooh. So and that was not all that long ago. So this recent watching was just
freshen.
Well, yeah, it's been a couple of months, so I have to watch it.
Stick
so
it
I
in the microwave.
Got all the details straight. But it was literally just a review watching.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Chad. The show goes into so much detail, but the movie in and of itself was pretty fucking groundbreaking, because it was the first Star Wars movie where
no scroll.
There wasn't a particularly fucking happy ending.
Yeah.
It was the heroes die. So in that respect, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm confused because I've watched it too many times.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else.
It's okay, man.
Somebody else go.
How did Snaps enjoy the Rogue One first viewing, considering the show? That's a different approach, I would imagine.
Well, we watched season 1, we rewatched season 1, and then we watched Rogue One.
Gotcha.
And then we watched season 2. So yeah, but she really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good. I said this before, I'll say it again. To me now in 2025, after everything, my ranking order of what I think is great Star Wars is very different. And I haven't taken everything into consideration, like the Clone Wars and stuff like that, which I think I should. But it's pretty much the original trilogy, and then this Andor and Mando, and I've said it before. Yeah. So when this movie came out, I agree with Ben, it was groundbreaking. It had no scroll, for one thing. It just started, it was Gareth Edwards. We had no idea who that guy was, and he just man, did he ever knock it out of the park. And the great thing is that I appreciate what you said about Andor being better than the movie, because they can explore so much more space there. And no pun intended. And I would like to go back and watch the entirety of season 1 and season 2 before I kind of make that determination. But without the movie, there would be none of that, because they came up with a lot of that first. At least that's my understanding, unless somebody can correct me. So
what first?
No, movie came first.
Yeah, the movie came first. The characters, they wouldn't exist without the movie, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. Cassian
and all that. I mean, obviously, Mon Mothma was already there, and some other people, but You know, the whole thing, the genesis of the entirety of Andor is the movie, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you gotta, you know, bow and respect, pour a little juice out on the ground, what have you. So yeah, I think this movie is amazing. I bought it a long time ago, and I just watch it like whenever, because it's so good, man. You know, it's like, it's such great Star Wars. It's so much like the original trilogy, just in its tone and its structure, like all of that stuff. You know, it was the first time that I was like, wow, finally, man, this is like, you know, somebody's like picking up the torch that was clearly dropped a long fucking time ago, you know? And I'm not really going to include the prequels in there because I kind of like, especially after the sequelogy came out, they kind of occupy their own space, you know? But like, It was like somebody was kind of picking up, you know, and showing us another chunk of the original story, you know, and getting to see what happens before that. It was just so exciting, man. I was so excited when it came out, and I love watching this movie. You know, I did a kind of a lazy half watch the other day, and I watched part of it before I got on the mic because I've just seen it so many times. You know, it's just great. So I'll leave it there for now.
I think like when you mentioned, Benny, the groundbreakingness, I kind of just like forgot about how surprised I was in the theater experiencing the, you know, heroes dying, and how pleased I was with just the willingness to tell a less buckle swasher and more maybe realism mixed into it. Just because, I don't know, it's more interesting to me now than to have that.
Sure.
It hit hard, I remember, in the theaters, being like, oh, fuck, damn, dude. They're not getting out of here. Because in all of these movies and all of the serials that they're based upon, you know, there's always the Indiana Jones under the door shit, you know?
We did it.
They find a way.
Yeah, there's always
they
think they're gonna die, and then they find a way out of it
they
at the
don't.
last minute.
Yeah.
And just that's that last shot of them embracing and having that, you know, explosion just take them. It's just so wild. Or the pilot blowing up in the ship, or there's just so much. And like, you know, Imwe and fucking Hayes or whatever, when that dude starts saying I'm one with the Force, it hits hard, man. Like,
it does. There's this movie hits hard in a lot of spots, man, and you know, those are some of them for sure. Like when the death scene at the end, and then like I just focused a lot on Jin this time. Like why I was watching her as a little girl, and like now I have a little girl, and she's the same age as her, you know. And I just kept thinking like, man, if I had to like let my little girl go like that, and like be like, okay, you got to go now. And you got to go on your own, and you got to go do that. Like, I was just like, what the fuck, man?
yeah.
Like, I think about her, and I think like, man, could I do that? Could she do that? Like
Well,
it's
you
just
would-
so
yeah,
crazy, man.
You would, and you could, and it would
Yeah.
be horrible. Yeah.
If you had to, sure. But like, I don't know. So it just hit me in a little bit of a different way this time, you know. And I was really feeling that emotion. But I think the one thing that this movie actually has, like, I kind of lump this movie in with the original trilogy because I feel like it's the most kind of like the content directly precedes the original trilogy, and like stylistically, as I said in my opening salvo, that it's kind of like the original trilogy in its structure and form and all that. And I think like, excuse me. I think I lost my train of thought.
Well, it feels very similar. Too. You know, it has the same vibe for sure.
Nope.
Lost it.
I fucking love when that happens.
The shields have been closed. There's no comms.
It's one thing when it's one thing when you're just like regurgitating like a brain fart. It's another thing when you've really got something good cooking and you're like you're working.
Your
towards
idea
it,
was that
X-wing
X-wing. They just like face blasted into that shield trying to get in.
Oh god, totally, man. Exactly, right? The one that kind of skittered across the top, dude. Yeah, I know, right? Fucking Jesus.
I love that.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Okay, I got it.
Okay,
so what I was going to say was,
have been blown, sir.
Yeah, the shield. I've recovered from the shield crash. So, like, I think in a lot of ways, this movie is almost better than the original trilogy. And the reason why I say that is because we have, I mean, obviously things like the death scene at the end, you know, and a lot of other things like the fact that this movie's made, you know, really like 40 whatever years after the original trilogy, man. So Well, a lot has been learned about filmmaking. I'm not
Yeah.
really talking about like the updated look and the cameras are better and all that. It's really just like the acting's way better. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like they did a really good job with the story and they did a really good job with the acting, man. So a lot of the parts that are poignant, like the daughter thing that was hitting me, the death scene at the end, like, you know, the whole thing with
Jin and her dad when he dies, Mikkelsen dies.
yeah, Baze Malbus and Chirrut Imwe, like yeah, a lot of that hits, man. You know, there's some a little bit deeper threads, you know, and it's really cool, man. You know, and
Sure.
even the battles are better, you know, like that Jeddah battle is just awesome, man, in the streets, you know, and it's like it's brutal. You're in there, man. You know what I mean? And there's like explosions and it's like conventional type warfare, which is not something that we're used to seeing in Star Wars, as an example. You know?
Sure.
There's a little girl crying and wandering through the gunfire.
Yeah.
Exactly. I just watched that, man.
Gotta save her,
and
dude.
It's like,
Gotta save her.
Yeah, exactly.
the rule.
But like we
Those are the
didn't
rules.
see that. Yeah, we didn't see that type of stuff in the original trilogy. So, in a little bit of a way, it's kind of better than the original trilogy. It's kind of like, you know, they
In some
took everything
ways,
that was great about the original trilogy and added on to that. You know,
No. I
so
kind of wish
it's just
Vin Diesel had come in and grabbed that
fantastic in
girl,
that way.
though.
Vin Diesel.
If he swung on a rope one-handed and just like scooped her up and just disappeared off camera.
And they were like, Caparzo, what are you doing?
I was thinking right. I was thinking as Riddick in the Riddick garb.
Oh,
with the
yeah,
goggles
yeah.
on.
No, it is, as Riddick.
Right?
It's even better.
And then like the stormtroopers surround him and he's like, I'll kill you with my teacup.
That's it. With his blue milk cup. I think it's reasonable. I mean, like, I have, with the caveat that I have a lot of love for the original trilogy.
Sure.
The episode 4 is, I mean, a legendary,
dude.
and it's Lucas finding his
Totally.
feet in the universe, finding his feet,
Yeah.
you know, with that modern interpretation of sci-fi. Like, it was a groundbreaking piece of science fiction at the time. So, like, yeah, I mean, there's opportunity for a movie like this to have stronger areas than episode 4, because like you said, it's had 40 years to develop the genre, 40 years to develop the universe and the acting, et cetera, et cetera.
Totally.
So like that's reasonable. It's reasonable. I mean, I definitely think that it's kind of like the accomplishment in 78 was, you know, it's like the idea of adjusted for inflation. Like when you adjust the creativity for inflation, it wins.
Yeah, that's a great
You know
way
what I
to
mean?
look at it, man. No, I do, man. I do, because you're right. That's a really good point, dude. Is that, you know, you're right. The whole point in the first one was just like getting it out in theaters and looking
And not expecting
good.
to be able
And
to
he-
make more than just one, you know? You don't
yeah,
even know if
and
it's
he
going to
and
succeed.
he exactly, yeah, exactly. He achieved that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, yeah, but I think like it's interesting too, because these, you know, I don't remember who wrote it. I think it was Tony Gilroy and we never talked about Tony Gilroy when we
Who
did
wrote what?
Andor last week. Tony Gilroy, I think, wrote this. Who wrote the entirety of Andor, the series?
Yeah.
And if you don't know who Tony Gilroy is, he wrote all 3 of the Bourne movies, and then he went and he directed the Bourne Legacy that had Jeremy Renner, which was excellent, man. Anybody that's a fan of those films should really check out Legacy. I think it's excellent. It has Rachel Weisz in it as well. But Tony Gilroy is great. I mean, like, great. I'm a massive fan. Like, if you look up his films, you'll be like, oh, wow, yeah, these are really good movies. You know, he's an excellent, excellent writer, and he can direct well, too. And if I'm right and think, did either of you look that up? Is he the writer?
Yeah, so I think he got brought in and he got paid $5 million to do kind of like the final pass and the final he's a good chunk of it. But there's a series of behind the scenes featurettes on Disney Plus, which are worth checking out. And one of the first ones, there's a dude, John Knoll, who was an ILM guy from back in the 80s, who had the idea rattling around in his head and went and pitched Kathleen Kennedy, and it kind of took shape from there. So the original idea was his, and I don't know how much of the actual screenwriting he had to do with it, but like the genesis of the idea was his, and he was involved throughout. And then I think the Gilroys of the world came in and polished it up. So I think you're right generally, but there's also other peeps involved, you know?
Sure. But I can say for sure, because you can see it at the beginning of every episode of Andor, is
he's
just,
very involved,
created by Tony Gilroy, so he was the one that really took the reins on that, and that's why it's so good, man. I mean, if you're picking a starting point of like why is Andor so good, and we missed talking about this last week, it's because I would say it's because of Tony Gilroy. So his involvement here, I think, is key too. And what I was really kind of meandering towards was that I think you're right. It's like everything is progressed since 1978, and right, they've learned all these lessons, and so it's like, okay, here's a movie that takes place in and around the timeline of the original trilogy, and like here's what we've learned since then, and we're going to apply that, and what we get is a really, really excellent product, man. And I think that his involvement there. The other thing that's great about it is that there seems to be, like, when you watch it, it's very clean and very crisp in its intent. Whereas when the sequelogy came out, like it was just like fucking all over the place, man. And when movies are like that, it's like you can just smell the meddling from like corporate D-bags all over it, But this movie is very clean. It's like we know exactly what it's about. We know what the goal is. We know what they're going towards, and it's like it's great like that. And I think I was driving that fact is very different than like the sequelogy or some of these other shows that have come out, or even the prequel trilogy, even though that sort of exists in its own space and timeline. Sure. Sorry, that was extremely long-winded.
I think I think like maybe this ties it in a bow, but the like original trilogy has kind of like a adventurism and like an aw shucks kind of thing going on. A lot of the movies from my recollection way back were very aw shucksy, and then I think like
definitely
in those 40 years, whatever since, like this is a bit of realism, and the fact that the heroes die is like, it's like, oh wow. And then I would even go on to say that like Andor season 1 and 2, it's like we've learned so much about how brutal the world is, even since Rogue One, in terms of like just how dirty your hands need to get in this type of rebellion situation, and just how fucked up everything is and how people are. So like I would even say that like your analogy extends to the series and what we've learned since then. Like, and it's gone even more gritty and whatnot, for better or worse or whatever. But yeah, it holds up. I think it makes sense.
Yeah. Benny, thoughts on any of that?
I want out of this chicken shit podcast. No, I don't have any thoughts on any of that. I think you guys covered it quite well.
Thank you.
Quite a while.
With Kev's analogy, I feel like this stays close to the feel and vibes of episode 4, 5, 6. But I feel like the show is so much darker and grittier and dirtier that while I love it, it doesn't really. It's like an adjacent story or whatever. Do you feel like there's relevance to like just how dark it goes in season 1 and 2, that it kind of feels not separate from the universe, but like very different from the original trilogy? Maybe in feeling?
I think it expounds on it's jumping into the pool where the show is jumping into the pool where Rogue One is like kind of dipping a toe.
Yeah.
Into, right. Something a little more gritty, a little darker, a little more serious,
Yeah.
Which is a big deal, because the original trilogy is wonderful, and it's wonderful because it's whimsical and kind of innocent and, a little on the childish side, I mean, Christ, the first thing I remember seeing probably in my entire life was like the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Like it kind of brought me online. Like, so, and I was very little, but they brought me, and I really remember like Empire, but
yeah. Same.
But A New Hope was my first Star Wars movie, and it was very tiny, and I remember bits and pieces of that from when I was tiny, and the impression that it made on me. So there's something to be said for, I think there's room for all of it.
100%.
And the novelty of this could wear on us too. You know, think about the dark Batman shit, and you're just like,
Yeah.
yawn.
Yeah, it had its time and its place. But I mean, season 2 is fresh, and it still feels like, I don't know. Maybe not 10 more shows that are super duper gritty. I hear what you're saying.
I mean, you know, I would have liked to see them maybe do one more season and spend kind of cut it in half, you know, and spend a little more time in different places.
Yeah.
But they seem to be getting, I feel like, you know, obviously the project at large of trying to continue doing Star Wars has proved to be a bit of a hard nut to crack, right?
Yeah.
Like they're throwing a lot of shit at the walls. And, you know, I think even we've had to admit that a lot of the stuff we thought we might want to see, we didn't really care to see it when we saw it, you know?
Yeah. Yakisoba, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And so, you know, it's good to see them finally really, you know, hitting their stride with the shows.
Yeah, they're hitting some
anything,
balls at least. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And out of all the more recent movies, Rogue One is definitely where it's at. Sorry,
it's head and shoulders above, yeah.
No, it's fine. I kind of want to throw Solo in with that, you know? Like I think we all kind of
enjoyed it,
like
but
Solo, right?
It's
it a lot, man.
I mean, to be like blunt about it, I'd say it's a full grade below, if not 2 grades below this, though. For me. It doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just a different thing.
My favorite thing about Solo is Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. And I would really love to see a show or a movie with Donald Glover playing Lando Calrissian. I think that'd be great.
I would love to see that too.
Well, and then you've got that other piece too, which is like, you know, Darth Maul ruling the underworld, and I'm sorry, I forget her name, but the Queen Dragon chick from Game of Thrones and stuff, Kira, the character. There's some interesting stuff in that time frame that would be interesting to. I mean, whether that's relevant to the Calrissian stuff or not, I don't know. But there's just kind of some interesting stuff in that time space that would be interesting to check out.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it too. I just feel like
poor
it's
kid,
different.
dude. I mean, it's like trying to have Harrison Ford's shoes. Like,
I think he did a good job.
You're never gonna.
I think
do
we did
it.
an episode.
I mean,
Did we do an episode on it? I'm pretty sure
we did. Yeah, we absolutely did.
Yeah. But I just feel like this is the only movie out of all of the post prequel movies that I think is like head and shoulders above all of the others, and the other ones like rank them however you want. But like this one is a fucking grand slam home run. Whereas the other ones might be home runs, but they ain't, you know, like it's just, yeah, like what they were able to get done here. Considering I don't really even, honestly, I just could give 2 shits about the whole, like, you know, changing directors halfway through bullshit. I just don't even fucking care. But like the fact that they were able to make this happen was just really impressive. And then icing on the cake is Andor 1 and 2. Like you get a chance to. All of the time we talk about wishing we had some more time with the characters or a movie, and it's like this is an example where it's like, fuck yeah, dude, you know?
Right. And did they change directors halfway through this?
Yeah, Gareth Edwards shot the whole thing, and then Gilroy came in and essentially reshot the whole thing. So it was just kind of a weird one.
It was fucking weird.
To the point where I guess the guy that did the music for Gareth Edwards' cut, the movie got cut up so much that they couldn't even use his score, and the guy that did the score had a month to do it. So like they replaced that guy, and like he had 1 month to score the whole fucking movie, you know?
Wow.
Maybe that's a good segue, just in the sense that like I really noticed the orchestral score here, and it made me really not notice or not even know if there's any music other than the rave scene in Andor. Like, it was very score heavy here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think that keeps it close to the vibe of the original trilogy. But it made me really think about and question myself about the Andor 2 score and just not remembering it at all, which maybe is a credit to it or not. I don't know. There's a lot of symphonic elements in this.
Yeah, agreed. And they didn't really lean on the original
score,
did a bit. Like a little bit, but they kind of made it their own, you know. They gave it its own kind of song, you know. Like they all have their own, the originals anyway. Like Empire has, like, you know, the Imperial March is kind of the thing, you know, and Star Wars obviously as well, but Jedi more like A New Hope. but this had its own kind of feel to it, and I appreciated that. I didn't really take note of the music in Andor too much. I actually did. No, that's not true. I did, and I forgot to even bring it up. There were so many things to talk about, and there was so much content to talk about. I completely forgot about that because they kind of used some like synthy sort of.
Oh yeah,
synthy wave kind of stuff at some points that I really liked a lot, and I was like, wow, if you redid all of these Star Wars movies with like some cool synth wave shit, that would be dope as fuck. Yeah,
that reminds me. I saw someone talking, maybe it was the extras on the Andor season where they talk about the music, and it was saying that like in the beginning of season 2, it was synthy, and then as it progressed through, they went more and more orchestral so that it gets closer and closer to Rogue One, which I thought was interesting.
That's
I remember
cool.
hearing them say that. And now it's like I kind of want to redo the whole thing again for many a reason, and that would be one of them.
Yeah, me too. Yes.
The Force.
Back to the reshoot thing. I remember there was like this early trailer.
Yeah.
I'm having fucking major deja vu here, feeling like we've fucking covered this movie before.
Yeah, we probably talked about this 5 years ago, but I think enough time's gone by.
I swear to God, we've done this episode before 5 years ago.
No, we couldn't find it.
Maybe it's one of the lost episodes. I know we had episode 7 lost episode. The recording died halfway through, but who knows? Whatever, man. Rehash it. Who gives a shit?
Bizarre. That's where we've done it. But I remember there's like an early trailer for this where Jyn Erso says this line that's like, "We're rebels. Let's rebel." You know, just being like,
that was a good Jyn Erso.
Oh God, that's really cringy.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, lo and behold, like a long time goes by and then like you see some new trailers and like then the movie comes out and everybody's like, "Yeah, it's great." But I remember hearing about like all those rewrites and stuff. And I feel like that early trailer or whatever the fuck I saw that had to be from the original shoot. Right?
Yeah.
You know, it's like when they're having like the meeting, you know, to try and like, you know, she like makes her case to go for the Death Star plans or whatever. And everybody is like, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're going to do that." Mm-hmm. You know, and like that's like her original like response to it. You know,
yeah. Let's rebel.
We're supposed to be rebels, right? Let's rebel,
right? Right, Governor.
Right.
I don't know. I just wanted to tack that onto that thought. There.
No, that was
like the rewrite.
And I feel like whether it was in that scene or not, because I remember the trailer was getting everybody hyped, and then it turned out like zero footage from the trailer ended up in the final movie, to your point of it being all reshot.
That's so weird.
So I don't remember if the Let's Rebel scene was at that roundtable conversation, but I liked, even though it was cheese dicky, I liked when she says, "What chance do we have? What choice do we have?" Like, it's very on the nose, but I feel like it was either changed in the right direction or it's another example of it not done poorly in that particular case. Because, yeah, we're rebels, let's rebel. Like, I would have vomited into my popcorn had they said that. No doubt about it.
Sure. Okay, it's this is a rebellion, isn't it? I rebel. That's the line.
I think your Jyn Erso makes it so much better, too.
Oh my God! And one of the Reddit comments below is, "That was a trailer, wasn't it? A trail."
That's great. It's kind of weird too that like this movie came out like right in between Phantom Menace and Last Jedi. You know, so it's kind of like in the middle of all that shit.
Phantom Menace? You mean Force Awakens?
Whatever. Fuck you. Yeah.
No, I just want to make sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phantom Menace and Last Jedi. Yeah, came in. It was a 20-year gap. It was a 25-year gap. Yeah, no. It between Force Awakens. Sorry, and that's a death, dude.
Well, they said in the making of that it took 4 years to put this together from when he went and pitched Kathleen Kennedy. So assuming that that's 4 years to, I don't know, being in the can. That's what, 2012. What's Force Awakens? 2015.
2019. I mean, sorry, 2015, then 17 for Last Jedi, 19 for Rise of Skywalker.
I'm curious if Force Awakens was released in 2015, how much time they spent on it. Probably 3 or 4 years. I imagine they spent 3-ish years on any of them.
Sure.
So in theory, this was kind of close to wrapping up at around the time Force Awakens was in, maybe a year into development.
Sure.
It's just really interesting to see how hard they fucking fumbled it.
This, you mean?
No, Force Awakens, considering like it was the beginning of the 3-movie just absolute fucking fumble fest that was the sequelogy, you know?
I think it was a dumb move to try and start off with sequels to the original movies.
Yeah, like maybe now is when they would start
Like,
doing that.
Right. Yeah, like learn some lessons first.
Yeah.
Like our first 3 attempts are going to be like, we're going to try to fucking tack a story on to the end of the story that's been going on so far.
It makes me think of like mountain climbing.
We're going to start it off with a story about an even bigger Death Star.
Yeah, exactly. It makes me think of like mountain climbing, where it's like, I have decided I'm going to do mountain climbing. I'm going to go do Everest first, you know, because fuck it. This is like, okay, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Why don't you go do some just regular shit first, man? I mean, these would have been in develop. These probably would have had a little bit of crossover in development. Like maybe this one was being shot while that one was being developed. So I don't have anything to say about it other than it's interesting, you know?
I'm glad they've kind of slowed down the production of movies.
Yeah, that just need to be one every fucking 3 months, man.
I don't know how I feel about a Mandalorian movie.
No.
I'm not really like, since we're going here, since you said that, like, I don't really feel good about it. I don't like this kind of goes, Mike, this comment I'm going to make kind of goes along with the rant that, you know, Ben started and I finished last week. Like, Mando is so huge. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to keep a series going that's doing well and making money, why the fuck wouldn't you do that one, for Christ's sake? You know, unless Favreau and Filoni really just had no more content. You know what I mean? Which is fine. I like, you know, like The Expanse. The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like, the show's so good, man. It's like, why transfer to a movie? It just makes no sense. It's kind of like Andor. It's like, oh, this is getting too expensive. It's like, yeah, but this is like the only fucking good thing you made. Like, you know, like The Acolyte was terrible. Like, all
you
these
guys
things
aren't rolling in fucking cash. Like,
yeah, right. Exactly. Like, you're not rolling in cash. You have all of these people at your disposal. As I put it last time, do fucking better. It's like, make all 5 seasons of Andor, make more seasons of Mandalorian. They're already doing well and they're already massively popular. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It looks like the Mando movie is taking the place of season 4. Like they've decided to turn into a movie, which I just don't. It's another example of an easy thing to fumble.
Right? And you're just giving us less content because each Mando season was like 4 movies. You know, if you make it a 2-hour movie, it's like each episode is, 40 minutes. So
filming's
done. It's like 3 movies, man. You know, in each season, it's like 3 movies worth of content.
Yeah, now the filming's done for it, and it's coming out May 22nd of next year. I mean, like, I guess, like, I have paid so little attention to the movies and shows just because I just have zero expectation of enjoying any of them. And like Mando show, but like, yeah, cool, check it out. I haven't watched any of the recent ones, Skeleton Crew or Acolyte or any of that stuff, and maybe it's good. I don't know, but
I don't really have a high bar anymore, dude. Like, I kind of just assume that. I mean, I hate to say this, man, and this sounds super negative, but it's like I just assume everything that they're coming out with right now is just dog shit.
100%.
Unless it's like Andor or Mandalorian. Like if they announced like some new direction with the movies, like forget about the Mando movie, I would be like, okay, what is this going to be about? You know, like I've lost a lot of faith, you know?
Yeah, same.
Do you want to hear my 2 cents on Skeleton Crew and
please?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I was into Acolyte and they killed all my darlings. And I'm like, well, where the fuck do you go from here now? Like,
yeah, okay.
I literally don't give a shit about anybody else that's left. And then I'm pretty sure it's been canceled. So, so there's
by
that.
darlings, do you mean characters that you liked, connected
Yeah,
with?
they like introduce these like cool characters, and then like they get killed in like the next episode.
Yeah, right. Fun.
That's always fun. What else?
And what was
it's kind of interesting.
Crew.
It revolves around these twins that are raised by like the Night Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know anything about like the Night Sisters lore?
a little bit, but not really.
No, only what I know from Ahsoka. Sorry.
This is so
Yeah.
bad.
Anyways, it kind of revolves around that, and like these sisters get adopted by the Night Sisters essentially, or they're created by like the leader of the Night Sisters, and the Jedi like don't like the Night Sisters because they're using like dark side stuff, and like this like kerfuffle happens, and like the sisters get like separated, and one of them ends up with the Jedi, and like I don't know, it's just like. It was interesting, but like they kept killing off my darlings, and like by the middle of it, I was like, "Who's left? I don't even care. Whatever." Like,
Yeah. It's like a
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
burger.
No, but that's the problem.
I mean, obviously, it's a shame that Ray Stevenson
they made their
died.
kill
but
off
same
characters more interesting. They made their kill off characters, in my opinion, more interesting than
the survivors.
The actual like ones that the show is supposed to be about. And you're not really sure what the show is supposed to be about in the first season. So, anyways, and then
that's frustrating.
I liked Skeleton Crew, but it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. I liked the idea of like this sort of like Goonies style caper set in the Star Wars universe. You know, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't quite what I was hoping for. So maybe that's on me.
Maybe.
So there.
Good to hear your take on it for sure.
Yeah, I had like in this conversation we're talking about Star Wars, and I had even just forgotten that Ahsoka exists. And that doesn't even mean I hated
weird.
it. It's just like I was like, oh yeah, that was a show. And like the biggest bummer about Ahsoka is that Stevenson died, because I'd like a fucking show about him, his character, Ray Stevenson stuff.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't ever think about that either. It's kind of. I don't know. It's like it was like weirdly forgettable and yet kind of good too. Like Balin's Skull was cool. Hu Yang was cool. Better than Obi-Wan. Like we got to see Hayden Christensen again as Anakin. That was really fun. Go ahead, Benny. What do you got?
Yeah, no, and that's why I'm interested in seeing where the story. I'm kind of hooked on the story. I'm interested to see where it goes. The idea that like Thrawn is coming. Idea that
right.
Hayden Christensen is back as Anakin / Darth Vader. Yeah.
Did you just say Ruth Bader Anakin?
Ruth Bader Anakin.
That's what I thought I heard there for a second, and I don't know why.
I think that's what you heard. Yeah.
Sorry,
Darth.
man.
Yeah.
Darth and Ruth sound similar.
Yeah.
I guess this is the
nice.
It would be pretty fun. All right. Anyways,
just leave it. No, the Thrawn stuff's interesting for sure.
Yeah, where the story is going seems interesting, and like the Night Sister shit there is interesting too. So I don't know. I'm curious to see where it's going.
I mean, Filoni's so into the Thrawn kind of angle that he's going to shepherd it through for sure. There's just so much random ass shit coming, it seems.
Maybe it's just me because I liked the animated stuff and I liked Rebels. So seeing those characters played by people, like live action by people, and seeing those story arcs sort of continuing and coming to a head are interesting to me. They may not be as interesting to you guys, but
I'm interested. I'm willing to give anything a shot. I'm just finding, similar to Kev, that I'm at best whelmed with a lot of the output, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just being a moody bitch, I think. Like, it's hard to complain when the shows are good enough and then Andor's a home run. Like, I can't expect everything to be a home run. And when there is one, I'm going to savor it. And when there isn't one, I'm going to enjoy them. Like, I mean, Obi-Wan was fine. It was kind of dumb in a lot of ways, but like it had some cool shit going on. And it was great, like you guys said, to see, people coming back for the old roles. Like, it was awesome to see the boys back together,
I was very excited that Ewan McGregor was going to play Obi-Wan. The story was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
It was just like literally like Yoda's like, stay on Tatooine. You will.
Yeah.
Watch young Luke. You
Send you
will.
muffins, I will.
Like, that's the whole point.
That's it.
The whole fucking point is he's there to fucking watch over Luke and protect Luke.
And not gallivant around.
For him to leave and like protect Leia just makes no fucking sense. Like,
no, I agree with you, dude.
Leia had her own protection, you know, like she's
the entire government of Alderaan.
Adopted daughter of a fucking senator, you know. Like,
no, he was fine. She was fine. Luke's fucking
that was a
Tashi Station.
It was a dumb story.
She's fucking princess.
It didn't.
like, hey, you know what we should do? We should just send him right off planet immediately.
Yeah, right.
He'll be fine.
No, it was fucking dumb, dude. And there was other elements of his character in that I just thought were out of place for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and all of that combined in a blender just made a mess that wasn't really that great. I mean, it was cool to see him have a lightsaber battle, but like I'm beyond the days in my life where it was just like all about action scenes. You know what I mean? Like that was for when I was a kid and in my 20s. You know?
Yeah.
Like I want to see great stories as well. You know, because a lot of the action stuff that we did watch had great stories wrapped around it. You know what I mean? And it's like that's why it was fucking great. So yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Well, at first it was like the story was great and the action wasn't so great.
Right.
And then, like, you know, the action got upgraded and we were like, ooh, shiny, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, ooh,
right.
that's what we want, you know? And then, and
totally.
then you're like, wait a minute, but this is just action. We don't really, I don't care about it.
Yeah, the story is
so
bad.
Well, exactly. If the story's bad, you don't care about the action because there's not enough at stake, man. It just doesn't work, you know? Which is weird because it was like we finally get to see Obi-Wan fight Anakin again as Vader when he's like even more powerful. And it's like, you know.
But it's after you sit through 6 hours of bullshit.
Exactly right. I know. And I still haven't watched that recut with the dude that cut it and basically cut it into a movie.
Same.
And I think
Which
I'm
is
going to
another
watch
example
it tonight.
of like my give a shit meter is reading pretty fucking low, you know? Because like,
yeah,
young me would be all over that, you know?
100%. I think I'm going to watch it tonight, man.
it's just bad writing, I think.
Yeah.
You know, where they decided to go with the story, what they could have gone anywhere, and where they decided to go was just dumb. It didn't make any sense. And yeah, you're right. The way they approached the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi was they made him very weak. You know, they made him like scared and like,
yeah,
you know, and that's not even how he was like portrayed in the animated stuff. You know, like I know I've talked about this before. There's like, there's a scene in Rebels where Darth Maul is like shows up on Tatooine and he's going after Luke, and like Obi-Wan shows up out of nowhere on the back of some like, you know, fucking desert beast, you know, because
back. Yeah.
Obi-Wan has to ride a beast, you know,
Of course.
and he just fucking kills Darth Maul. And then and then like holds him and like rubs his head while he's dying, you know? Like, it's like, yeah, that's Obi-Wan, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Right.
That's fucking Obi-Wan. Like, you know, he's not some like, oh God, I'm scared. You know?
It's not his first day. It's not his first day on the job. He's like fumbling
He's a
his
fucking
lightsaber.
Jedi Master,
Like,
for fuck's sake.
what do I do? Yeah.
Yeah. He's a fucking he's a fucking Jedi Master. He's not scared.
He doesn't need an arc.
He's not unbalanced. Yeah, he doesn't need to be like, he doesn't need to have a moment where where things go sideways on him and he's doubting himself, right? Like, it's too late for that. Like, the guy was in his like, you know, fucking 50s in the Clone Wars or whatever. Like, he's pretty much fully formed, you know? And yeah, sure, things went badly, but
not that bad.
The you know, if you're a Jedi, you're supposed to be like above that shit, right?
Sure. Absolutely. Well, not
The conflict
just that.
is
like I was
outside,
thinking,
not inside. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you just brought it up, Ben. And I think, you know, it's like, okay, so you've got him, you know, he's shaken. It's like, okay, but like a Jedi being shaken, you're talking about somebody who's essentially a well-versed practitioner in a martial discipline, right? Like that's what being a Jedi really is, right? I mean, let's be honest, right? And
but it's not just a martial discipline; it's a philosophical discipline, right?
It reinforces it further.
It's a spiritual discipline, whatever you want to say.
Hear me out. It's all that stuff. So for a person like that, with that type of training, yeah, sure, he's going to get rattled, but he's going to have tools that are just way beyond the average person to deal with that, man. So in essence, isn't going to get rattled like that. And the fact that they included that in there just drove me nuts. I thought it was so stupid.
Ridiculous. Well, it's like, I mean, the analogy is not perfect here, but it's like if the Dalai Lama all of a sudden started fucking doubting himself and became a sushi chef.
Thank you.
It's
exactly
like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like the dude knows what's up. He knows who he is. And I guess that's it. The conflict is outside of Obi-Wan's skull. It's not inside his fucking skull. Like like you said, Benny, we're past that point. And it feels like those types of decisions are the decisions that have been plaguing a lot of the movies and shows and stuff. And like, there's bits to enjoy, but I don't know.
There are.
I'd like to see more Andor-y stuff, not even in the grittiness sense, but just in the, like, I don't know, quality sense. I don't know.
If I recall, in the aftermath of, Revenge of the Sith, he's like, let's fucking go after them. Let's try and find survivors. Let's like try and do this. Let's try and do that. And Yoda's like, no, we need to watch after the twins. So fucking,
go do what I told you.
Take him to his aunt and uncle on Tatooine and look out for him. And he's like, well, and Obi-Wan's like,
send you methods, I will.
Well, that doesn't sound very exciting,
Yeah, exactly. You do what you got to do, man.
That's about as exciting as a cold bowl of yakisoba.
So to like, jump ahead to Luke's adulthood, and he's, and Obi-Wan is like freaking out and afraid of the Imperium. Like, it just, I don't know.
Stupid. It was poor.
They are doing like a throwback. They are doing like a movie or a show that takes place like 20,000 years in the past, origins of the Jedi, which could be a complete shit show or could be good.
Great. Who knows? I'll believe it when I see it. If I see it and it's great, just like nothing's exciting me right now. When I hear about stuff, I'm just like, whatever.
It's like I'll check it out, and if it's good, great. And if
absolutely, I'm not saying I won't check anything out. Not being that.
There's the Sean Levy Starfighter movie that's coming.
Yeah, what's that about?
That's
what is that?
It's let's see here, which stars Ryan Gosling, friend of the show.
Oh wait, didn't they just announce this recently?
Yeah,
I saw something about that.
I think it's in pre-production, but yeah, or it's actually in production. It's not in pre-production.
Who's Sean Levy?
It's in production.
It's called Starfighter.
Yes, it is called Starfighter. I believe it's like years after the events
of what, the Death Star being taken down.
And Sean Levy or Levy, I'm not sure how it is.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Stranger, Deadpool and Wolverine, Stranger Things.
Oh, I did a bit of that. Okay.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, right on. And it's Gosling as a rebel starfighter pilot, it looks like. Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, right on.
There's virtually
nothing really.
Which isn't a bad thing. Yeah, right on. I mean, like I said, I'm down for whatever, man. I mean, I love Ryan Gosling.
Other than a time frame.
I look forward to seeing.
The gist is it's one of the first movies that is a fully original story. That has nothing to do with any of the previous movies.
That's cool. I mean, the thing about I don't know. The thing I want to add on to, it's not like it's a huge surprise, but like the thing about studio people, the suits, it's like they really just don't understand their audiences at all, man. And it's like they keep having to do origin stories in the freaking superhero movies, and it's like it took forever to get away from that. And it's like now finally they don't really do that now that they know it's a billion zillion $1 million maker. Well, not anymore, but it was. And it's like with Star Wars, it always has to, it's always got to be the original characters or somehow connected to the original characters or have some original character that's somehow tied in. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, dude, just you're not paying fucking attention to the fans. You know what I mean? You're so stupid with greed and money and so worried that it won't make money that you make these absolutely asinine decisions. It's like if you just, as we've said 1 million times, if they bothered to listen to this show, we've said it 1 million times, make great content, people will fucking show up for it in droves, man. Absolutely. Like Mando came out of nowhere. Nobody really knew anything about that when it was coming out. It was like, boom, it came out and everybody just like went nuts.
Well, Filoni and Fabs,
and it was great.
Had their heart in the game, like Filoni in particular.
Totally.
I will say, like, I watching Rogue One, there's a little bit of fan service here and there, like the R2s of the world and shit. But like, it made me realize how there was practically no fan service in Andor season 2, for example. I haven't seen one in a long time, and how much I enjoyed that there was no fan service.
Yeah, I'm really burned out on that bullshit. Like, I like that they had the two weird guys from the bar from A New Hope, like that was cool.
But that was straight up fan service.
All I needed, dude. Like, I don't need any more than that,
Because like the Leia stuff, the Tarkin stuff, and the C-3PO and D2 stuff is kind of fan service and kind of relevant considering New Hope takes place like 10 minutes after this movie ends,
I mean, look, just to get onto that whole Tarkin and Leia thing, like the Leia part was just absolutely 1000% unnecessary. The Tarkin bit, at least he was directly involved in those events. So like I can see like story wise, how are you going to make that happen?
Kind of can't avoid having him in the scenes. Not at all fan service, but I was going to say I love the like red team, gold team, blue team stuff.
Yeah,
seeing some of those dudes.
It was great that they were able to reuse unused portions from the original movie, to kind of to lend some sort of connective tissue there. I thought that was neat.
And Red 5 gets taken out, so there's a gap. I definitely know we've talked about that elsewhere on the show, but
the important thing was that Red Sly didn't get taken out.
That's true.
Because
he was standing by.
The best pilot,
no doubt. Those space battles, man, they were pretty solid.
Dude, Admiral Akbar's brother was awesome.
I'm gonna fly straight into Death Star.
But Red Sly, we don't need to
Bye,
do
Red
that.
Sly. Dumb fuck.
We don't need to do that. We could shoot torpedoes from here. Yeah.
The visuals of Raditz's hammerhead pushing the Star Destroyers into each other's stuff. I remember at the time in the theater just being like, fucking, I am here for this.
Yeah, right. It was great.
Super
really, really good.
Need a good
gritty
space
battle, man. Yeah, it was great. My favorite battle, I think, was the Jeddah battle, but the end battle was excellent, dude. The planetary shield and the Star Destroyers, the Hammerhead Corvette, just all that stuff was great.
Yeah.
Really, really great, man.
The air power coming in and taking out the AT-ATs when they're about to get their ship pushed in. Yeah, there's a lot of really fun stuff in there.
Yeah, it was great, man. And I don't know about you guys, but like I always loved seeing different new types of stormtroopers. Like when I was a kid,
and
like
ships.
I think like once Empire came out and they had those snowtroopers with those weird masks that went all the way down. And I was like, whoa, what are those, man?
And the forest troopers,
some nerd. I remember this kid. I don't know why. I always remember his name. His name was Mike Welch. He went to grade school with me, and he was just like this. He was a nerd, and he was like a wealth of Star Wars knowledge. I have no idea where he got it because like there was no fucking internet, like. And he was, those were snow troopers. I was like, snow troopers, dude. What the fuck is that? And then when we saw the scout troopers, I was like, whoa, more cool stormtroopers. And so in this one, we got to see sand troopers, beach troopers. I don't know what they are, but like they had
troopers have like
armor
Hawaiian
was more like
kind of shit going on.
Right. The armor was more like sort of tannish, like tan colored, and like had some more browns in there. Like, yeah, right, exactly. No, it was cool.
No,
I really
cool.
liked that, man. Cool. I always love seeing new troopers.
They're beach troopers.
I love the beach.
Thank you, beach troopers.
I'm so here for.
Beach troopers.
Fucking pina coladas and Hawaiian shirts and shit. Like, I'm
Right.
so here for that.
I know it doesn't. It's like how silly, but yeah, they're beach troopers,
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
coastal defender stormtroopers.
Coastal defenders.
Are you reading that somewhere? Oh God, here we go.
Their backpacks fold out into beach chairs and
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, right. The freaking Wikipedia, dude. Jesus.
Coastal defender. That was like the fucking I'm sorry to do this, but like in Call for Papa Palpatine, where they're like, they fly now? They were jetpack stormtroopers. Like I kind of feel like they got a little too hyped up about it. Coastal defender.
There you go. Yeah, that's what they. Oh, those are cool, man. That's
They
a
are pretty
really
fucking
cool
cool.
helmet. That helmet is sweet, man. That armor set is fantastic. I love when the armor looks a little beat up and scratched and shit.
It's almost cell shaded.
Shore troopers. It says it's so funny.
Yep, shore troopers, beach troopers. People have described them as all these things, but they're cool. They show up in Andor season 1 as well.
On the resort city?
Yeah, like when he
That's
before
right.
he gets sent to the prison where they were making Death Star parts.
No shit.
For
It's
like, what did he do? He
those guys were there, and a bunch of like K2s were there.
That's cool.
And they're like
doesn't he get like I forgot. Didn't he get arrested for like leaning up against a wall? Or
Yeah, he
something
gets arrested for
ridiculous
nothing.
like that?
Sentenced to 6 years or
That's right.
something.
Yeah.
some guys that did something are like running through the area, and I don't know, like they steal something from him, or like for some reason he chases after them, and the stormtroopers and the K2s are like, "Whoa, stop!
Sure.
You're involved with these people." And they're like, yeah, nobody, like he basically doesn't get a trial. He just gets fucking sent directly to prison.
That's right. Yeah, I remember the trial.
He gets a trial, but it's like a fake trial.
Rubber stamp trial,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, you're guilty of this. Do you have anything to say? And he's like, I didn't do it. And they're like, all right, yeah, you're going. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that was very like, it had some Vogon vibes going on there, you know,
It did,
like
yeah.
in terms of the like
Wow,
absurdity
yeah.
of it.
Total Vogon vibes. How interesting.
Right? I mean, because like when I remember when he was in like the kind of the like
How
sort of
unlike
the
actual life that is.
right? Like, right? Like the processing area, you know, it was just like kind of chaos. It kind of looked like a cross between like the Danbury Superior Court right here in Connecticut and like the Beetlejuice waiting room, you know, like
The dude with a little head.
just like yeah, everybody's just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah, I mean, he's
It was
literally
like-
in the court. He's like, I don't know why I'm here.
Yeah, and they're like, okay,
She's like, I
that's
don't know either. You're going to jail.
15
Bye.
years. Yeah, right,
Bye.
exactly. That was the Vogon part right there for me. It was like that. I don't know why I'm here. Very well, you're going to prison for 15 years. Like, okay. What happened?
Well, shall we bits and bobs a bit?
Somebody needs
and bobs?
I mean, we haven't really talked about the movie, but sure.
That's what I mean. Let's get back on track.
We got on that sort of Star Wars universe tear for quite a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's all
Again,
good.
if we didn't actually cover this movie specifically, we have talked about it
We've talked about it plenty.
at length in the middle of other podcasts.
And there's something kind of
So-
beautiful about not talking about it in the episode about it and also talking about it in
Yeah.
all the not episodes about it.
Right.
It's on brand.
It's on brand for us.
It's on brand. We got it on tape somewhere. That's for damn sure, dude.
It's on rye.
Hey, nerds in the audience, go out there and find it.
Exactly
Exactly.
right. Or maybe the thing to do is just we can just do like a kind of longer bits and bobs and just
Yeah.
cover anything we think needs to be covered there.
Yeah,
Kick it off, Chad. What do you got?
I think the highlight for me here, aside from all the obvious stuff, was how my introduction of K2SO in season 2 of Andor primed me so well for enjoying the shenanigans of K2SO in this. He's just so goddamn funny, and I don't know. I think he's one of the best droids in the entire universe, if not the.
I think a lot of people agree with you, including me.
It's just so funny, man.
Including me as well. Yeah.
Right.
sassy Imperial fucking soldier droid. It's just so good, dude.
I mean, I really like, I don't know, I at times have questioned, like, do we need another droid? Like, every movie's got a droid, you know?
Or
And
comic
I was
relief,
like,
yeah.
I mean, BB 1 or 8 or whatever that little guy was, like, I don't know, that felt really forced, yeah. Whereas like K2 and God, the one I'm sorry, man. I know you're not a massive fan of Solo, but like I thought the
I'm fine
fucking
with Solo.
robot in that was fantastic, man.
Well, the fact that it's a revolutionary is quite funny and good.
That she's a revolutionary, you mean?
Yeah, L3.
Solo? Yeah.
Yeah.
L3, that's it. Yeah. I think I don't know, K2 and L3 felt more organic in their sort of
definitely
creation, you know, and dialogue and the writing was a little bit better. I don't know. Like my favorite thing that he does is when like he says so many great things, but like I kind of boiled it down to like when she puts the bag in his hands and then walks off to go to Jeddah City, and then he just drops it.
And he's like, that wouldn't be so bad. When she's like, I'm worried that a bullet's gonna try and hit you and hit me instead. And he's just like, that doesn't sound so bad. It's just so funny.
He like lowers his voice too. He's
it
wouldn't be so bad.
There's quite a bit of it. And you end up at the end, you were talking about the movie, you know, dropping characters off, and each one is a surprise. And then even when K2 dies at that console, you're just like, fuck, man. All right. And in the way that the way that they handle his voice kind of breaking as he says goodbye, it's just like, I don't know. Yeah. It's kind of wild that they're able to get that emotional resonance with a fucking tin can, you know?
Absolutely, man.
Dude, it killed it. I actually, like, Ethan wouldn't go to sleep last night, so he like came into the, you know, when the kids don't want to go to bed, they'll like come like, what are you doing? It's like, I'm watching you not go to fucking sleep. What do you think I'm, you know, like go to fucking sleep.
Yeah.
And I was actually literally last night, like Ethan came to the door and was like, whoa, what are you watching? And then Hannah came to the door. I was like, what are you guys doing? And Hannah's like, what you watching? I'm like, I'm watching my two kids in the hallway, like go to bed. But he came in and sat with me while I was watching the extras, and there's Alan Tudyk, and I was like, see, that's the special effect. Like that guy on stilts is standing there, but then they like do computer. And he's like, oh wow, that's cool. And I was like, you know what's the best bit about this guy? You know what else he did? And he's like, well, I was like, he was the chicken in Moana. And he was like, what? So like it completely blew his mind. It was super funny.
That's fantastic.
Any chance I get to see Alan Tudyk do anything, I'm psyched. He's just like he's everywhere. He's one of those guys like Sam Rockwell, where like everywhere, but like still not doing enough, you know, somehow. Like
he's totally. He's kind of like, I'm just like looking at his list, and it's like he's
a robot in the new Superman. I'm kind of here for that.
He's such a perfectly deft actor, but he does so much voice work, so much mocap work, and so like I believe in this part. I don't know if you guys ever saw the Doom Patrol series. It's on HBO. It's pretty good. And Brendan Fraser's in it, and he's in it. He plays Eric Morden, Mr. Nobody. I don't know if that's a like invisible type character, but that's like on brand for him. You know what I mean? Like he's always playing like things like that where you don't necessarily see him. You follow what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry, there's a crow in my
like
window.
In addition,
totally.
No,
I can't even name a fucking movie that he's in other than voice work shit.
I'm trying to think where I got turned on to him. I'm just looking at this list real quick.
Outside of the Firefly series, Death at a Funeral.
Death at a
outside of the Firefly series, what?
Death at a Funeral.
He said Death at a Funeral.
Oh, yeah. Not like super duper familiar with that one, but definitely, remember him in it.
There's more. I mean,
Doc Potter,
Resident Alien
is
quite fun.
Yeah,
totally.
Oh, okay. Well, I think maybe Dodgeball, maybe Hearts in Atlantis. Yeah, sure.
He's in iRobot. Who's he? Sonny in iRobot. I don't remember that.
Yeah, Dodgeball, Steve the Pirate.
Yeah, exactly. He's all the robots. Like he's Sonny the robot.
Oh,
in
Sonny the robot.
iRobot.
Oh, yeah. That's a death. Who's
I
Sonny
think
and
it
iRobot?
was. Yeah, I know that is a death, buddy. Sorry.
He's in Knight's Tale. I have a real soft spot for that ridiculous ass movie with the fucking
Do
David
you?
Bowie
Is that what is that
soundtrack.
movie about? Is that any good?
I can't
what's
even.
that
It's
about?
actually. I remember really liking it. It's a romantic comedy set in King Arthur's time, and at one stage they're like doing a ballroom kind of dance thing, and like Golden Years by David Bowie is the song. It's a fucking weird ass movie, but for whatever reason I remember liking it. So I don't know.
Or you just
Probably-
kind of like
I probably should
saw it a
admit
lot
that
and
I
got.
like it. I don't know.
Well, I
I'll
don't
watch it
think that
again.
that's the case all the time. I think what happens with like the old like HBO effect and like cable effect,
Sure.
like whatever was on was
Like,
what you
it's on,
watched.
like,
I think
oh,
you
okay.
kind of get involuntarily co-opted into being a fan of something, right? Because
I
like
mean, it's got a
after
young
enough
Rufus
times,
Sewell in it, dude. Like, I mean, that's enough reason to watch it.
but like, do you know what I mean? Like after
I
enough
do,
times
yeah.
of being like, oh, this is the only thing on, I'll just watch it again.
Yeah, it's the best thing on at the time, and therefore it's good. Yeah.
Right. It's like you kind of go from like hating it to like just tolerating it to being like, oh yeah, this is like a movie that I watch
To
all the
getting
time.
a Knight's Tale tattoo
It's so
on my lower back.
stupid,
Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Right above your tramp stamp. Totally.
Yeah.
I think my exposure to this guy was either the Monty Man and Hearts in Atlantis, which was somewhat of a poor adaptation of a really great Stephen King short story, or Steve the Pirate from Dodgeball. And,
Nah,
and that those
For
came
me,
out
it's Knight's
in
Tale
2000.
for sure.
Yeah, 2001 for Knight's Tale and Hearts in Atlantis, and then Dodgeball was 2004. So that was really the beginning of his career, anyway.
I love him.
And
man.
I always
do
thought he
no
was
wrong.
hysterical as Steve the Pirate, dude. I thought he was fantastic. I remember looking him up and like figuring out what his name was, and then he did iRobot the same year that he did Dodgeball. And
Yeah.
he played Sonny, and he got a fair amount of recognition from that because he did such a good job.
Sure.
And I remember digging in and looking him up then too, and I was like, I became a fan of this guy a long time ago, man. And then I haven't seen the series, but I have watched the Firefly movie, and I really like that
Yeah,
too.
it's a
He
good
obviously
series.
played Wash in that,
You
yeah.
like
So
the series, man. I'm surprised. that you haven't
yeah,
gotten there yet.
he was one of these. It's not for
he dies
any.
immediately in the movie, so it's not really.
It's barely in it.
But I mean, that's not for any particular reason that I haven't watched it. I just haven't gotten around
Yeah,
to
just
it,
haven't gotten there,
But like, he played Doc Potter in 3:10 to Yuma. I'm a big fan of that movie. Like, any chance I got to to watch this guy, I've always done it, and I've always
doubt.
enjoyed it. He's just fucking awesome, man. He's so good, and it's like I love seeing him now getting like the recognition he deserves for the quality of his performances and talent, man.
Sure.
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. That's a good movie, actually.
I haven't seen that one.
I have a copy of that. It's weird.
I bet.
Anyway, so he basically steals the show in this movie, man. I mean,
Kind of
let's be
does.
real. It's like him and
Donnie Yen. And
maybe yeah. I was
Yang a
going to
bit.
say Donnie Yen and him kind of steal the show a little bit,
Yeah, I was really feeling Donnie Yen on this watching.
Yeah.
Same here. I mean, just I don't know. When I saw that he was in this movie, I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be fucking great." Like I remember when the movie was coming out, and it was like Donnie Yen and like these people, and I was like, "Wow, this is gonna be cool." I wonder
I
what he's
love
gonna
it.
do.
And I was like, wow.
I know. Well, whatever. I guess it's sort of
I'm with you,
10-year-old,
I'm
but
with you.
like I was excited, man, because it was like I hadn't really. This was something that was like taking place right before the original movie, so it was something I was getting excited about, and this was right in the middle
You get
of
a
the
bit of kung
shitty
fu too in a Star
sequelogy.
Wars, which is kind of cool.
Kind of like a Jedi who can't become a Jedi because that's not a thing anymore in the Empire, and it's just like, but he understands the Force, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and he understands how to fight, and he uses that to his and the Force to his advantage. I don't know, it's so
Yeah.
cool, man.
He's like a force sensitive samurai daredevil, like,
Yeah.
Totally.
like blind, but that's your superpower, like you can see more almost.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very cool. I mean, there's a lot of great characters in this movie to focus on, but for whatever reason, like John Edwards, I was like, I'm coming to you with Donnie Yen's character in this.
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chirrut Imwe.
And the pair of them,
I really
too. Like I think Chirrut on its own is fine, but Chirrut and Baze together just levels it up even further.
100%.
Yeah, Baze with his big giant
Warhammer gun.
Vacuum.
He's got like a vacuum cleaner canister on his back.
Yeah, he's got a major Warhammer gun.
So great, dude. No, they used to make canvacs like that literally had straps where you could wear them on your back.
Yeah.
If I ever owned a cleaning company, we would cosplay those gun backpack vacuum clean. Like we'd have to do that kind of shit, I think.
There you go.
I want to know the lore of that thing.
Totally.
I should just look it up.
I know.
There definitely
There'll be
is
75
lore.
articles on it, mate.
No doubt.
Yeah. What's the deal?
What's the deal?
What's the deal with Baze Malbus's backpack?
Well, the original.
It looks like a vacuum.
The original cartridges were Fandaflaflian 764s. Okay. They used the powder of the kyber crystals for the casings. The casings were 55 Gleegly Blukes wide, which is approximately 7.22 millimeters. Okay, man.
Which is 3,600 Glabens.
Exactly.
Oh.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bits and bobs.
I loved that Donnie Yen was in it. The dynamic between him and Baze was fantastic. Like, what's not to like? You know, the guy was great. He like shoots down a TIE fighter with his like weird
little bow
blind
thing.
man's crossbow, and then that thing hits the whole station, and the whole station blows up. And he's just like doopy doopy doo.
Yeah, Mr. Magooing the
like,
shit out of it.
Right.
Totally, Mr.
kinda
Magooing
like-
it.
Yeah, it's almost like his superpower is luck, like Domino in the second
Deadpool.
Deadpool movie. Yeah,
Right, like
Totally.
I don't know if you remember Long Shot from like the X-Men from back in the day when we were kids. Like that was his thing too.
yeah. I was briefly in a band that. I was in a band that was briefly called Long Shot that we
Whoa.
pulled out of that name because our drummer was like, "We should
A
call
long
it
shot?
Long Shot because the comic book."
Okay, man.
I was like, "What? Long shit? What? Who's that?"
And you guys were like, "Yeah, man."
Epic. Bit of Krennic love. Probably not much to say there, considering we gave him some love in Andor. He's such an evil British douchey.
Who?
Mendelsohn.
Oof.
Don't
man.
choke on your
Yeah.
ambition.
Right?
Director.
The best thing about Don't Choke on Your Ambitions is that he survives and then he has like a smile as he's like getting up from being, asphyxiated.
Yeah.
He's just kind
He's
of like,
such a fucking
I'm still
weasel,
right.
dude.
Oh, I love him.
He's like
I love him.
fanboying. He's like, I
Yeah,
just got
he is.
full
He's
choked by
fanboying.
Vader,
Yeah,
and I
he's totally
survived.
fanboying.
Oh my god!
Oh, can you believe it? I'm going to tell everybody at the Imperium.
He's kind of like that kid that's like, no. I'm the leader. I'm the leader.
Yeah.
Right? You remember that kid? Like no. I'm leading this mission. I'm the leader. Right? He's always like, but I'm still in charge. Right? Like you'll tell the Emperor. It's me. I still get to be in charge, right?
Dude, Tarkin
like that's what he's like the whole
so
movie.
hard, man. He just gets
Fucks him
fucked.
royally, dude.
I love how much Tarkin fucks him.
Don't fuck with the Grand Moff.
Right?
You don't, man. You don't.
Yeah.
But like the cool thing about that is that he Farkin
Why
tucks
did we
with
never? I'm interrupting, and this needs to be edited out. But Benny, why did we never call whatever her name was Grand Muff Tarkin?
Grand Moff Tarkin.
What was her name?
I don't know, but we definitely should have.
him. I know exactly who you're talking about.
What was her fucking name?
That little crusty
Muff.
hippie girl.
No. We
remember
don't
that.
need to bring her
we
last
have to
name
say
into
it.
this.
No, cut this shit out.
Noted.
Sorry,
which is you beat me to the punch because like Okay, so there's a particular famous distortion pedal that is known as the Big Muff.
Super Muff?
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Right? It's like a
Yeah.
fuzz pedal, so it's called the Big Muff.
Sure.
So I'm surprised. It probably exists. I hope it exists.
Yeah, it
right?
has
We're gonna
to.
like rule 31 this or whatever the fuck
Yeah.
it is. Like that there is a Grand Muff Tarkin
Variant.
fuzz pedal out there.
No doubt about
Yeah.
it. No doubt about it.
Like there's a remember did I ever bring up the diabetes pedal where it's like there's a picture
maybe. I don't
of there's a
think so,
picture
man.
of there's a picture of Wilford Brimley on it, and like it has two LEDs that are like his eyes. It's just called diabetes.
I'm so here for that.
Yeah, I mean the guitar pedal world is hilarious because there's just all
I
these
bet.
different like boutique builders that just make a circuit that's like kind of something else, but they like come up with a clever name for it and some fun artwork, and like suddenly they're worth like $1,000 or whatever.
Totally.
If there's no Grand Muff Tarkin, I'm fucking
needs to be.
poor man trademarking that
Poor man
that shit
doing it.
right now, and yeah, they will be coming.
I love it. He just gets a taste in this movie, but Bodhi was pretty cool. The pilot.
Yeah,
Like
Riz
him.
Ahmed's a great actor, man. I really like that guy a lot.
I remember in the theater being kind of stoked for a non-Tatooine kind of beachy fight. The AT-AT's like stepping on the beaches and the troops underneath him like running along,
Mm.
It was kind of breaking new ground at the time. It's not as novel now, but very, very Vietnam-ish.
It was cool to see the ATST inside the city. When
That's true, yeah.
shit kind of got out of control. We see that thing walk around the corner.
Yep.
Like that was easily my favorite vehicle in Star Wars when I was a kid.
It was pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm having another deja vu here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and
Go with it.
say it that
Say it, man.
I find it odd that like something that clearly is like this like mono biosphere sort of planet like Star Wars likes to do, like this beautiful paradise planet is the place where they just like have a base to keep the Imperial records. Like I don't know, it's just,
Right?
like like why there? Like that seems like a odd choice.
But it's funny
okay.
too because you could imagine the board meeting around the Empire table. The guy's like, "Why don't we do it there?" He's like, "I'll go do my tour of duty there, get a tan, hang out with my tan troopers."
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't know. Yeah, it was kind of weird.
It's funny, but yeah, it's pretty silly.
It's like a total. It's kind of odd. It's like a total paradise too. It's like what? Like the planet seems like a paradise. Like I don't know.
Gotta catch them all, dude.
I guess like the Empire. Like what's more fitting is like rain-soaked cliff walls and like
Yeah,
volcano planets and
underground
ice
stuff.
planets where they have like under secret bunkers.
like
and
the place
shit.
where Galen Erso was really that rainy, shitty, rocky place.
Mm.
That's what I mean. Like Edu. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, or there's like a strategic reason, like a resource or something,
Yeah.
like that's usually seems to be like the Empire's MO for a location that they set something up. So for them to like set up like a data, like their main data center on this like island paradise planet.
Yeah.
Like a little
Right.
bizarre.
That did
Like
seem a
harvesting
bit odd.
Ewok tears or some shit. Or,
Yeah, right. I definitely I never got this out of my head. Like the guy that played like the lead, one of the squadron leaders for the X-Wings, like he just
that dude
he looks
that
like
is
Daniel,
like
he looks
I
like
love
Daniel
him.
Craig's cousin.
Yeah. Carrie Elways and Daniel Craig's love child.
I was like, who's this guy? I was like, this guy looks like Daniel
love him,
Craig.
man.
I was like, that
He
can't
looks
be
like
a
he'd fit
Daniel
into like
Craig.
an Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm trying to think. What the hell? I just saw his name. Ben Daniels. That's the guy's name. He looks like freaking Daniel Craig, and I was always like, oh, it's like Daniel Craig's goofy cousin. He's playing the X-wing fighter pilot. I don't know, whatever.
He was great.
That always struck me as funny. This was also the debut of, speaking of like, staying true to the things that we've talked about really loving about Star Wars. Like, I really like the U-wing fighter. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Because I love cool ships. We already mentioned the Hammerhead Corvette, which was fantastic, man. I love the way that Admiral, what's his name? Braddock, I think, the Mon Calamari guy. Like, he had some stones on him, dude. Really dug him a lot, dude. Like, I liked how he was just like, all right, let's go. And like, they just like took off. They weren't going to wait around for the stupid council either, man. He was like, we're out of here, dude. we're going to go fuck some shit up. Like, I love that. And I also love like the, obviously with the boar gullet, creature was the boar gullet creature was definitely like on brand for Star Wars creatures, right? Like, it was great. But I also liked from Saw Gerrera's sort of welcoming committee, like the really angry seeming guy with like the super cool.
That
like,
was
face.
the coolest creature, man.
That guy, right? That guy was
like the
awesome. That
eyes.
and the really tall white fuzzy creature was sort of looked like a kind of a Wookiee meets a
You're just into
Wampa.
him
I don't
'cause
know,
he's a
whatever.
Yeti,
Like,
but yeah.
yeah, just like, it was just cool. It was great to see some like good diversity of creatures and like, really great ships. Just like,
While we're here with the creatures, I want to talk about the rebel creature with the
screaming guy,
the big mouthful of teeth. That's like,
I like that guy. Yeah,
the rebel creature. Wait, which guy was that?
He's one of the rebel soldiers on the final beach battle.
Yeah,
is he like a short creature? Like a no?
Yeah, I think you might be confusing him for the short guy in the city battle scene in Andor season 1.
Yes, I might be.
Not
yes.
that dude.
He's kind of he's not tall per se, or it's not tall per se. I don't know if it's male or female, but it's like an alien that's with the landing, party.
Sure.
And he kind of has like a big mouth full of small teeth that you would remember him. He kind of looks like a Peanuts character when they're like, ah,
yeah.
Like when they like open their mouth, yeah.
I'm looking it up.
I'm kind of scrubbing. I'm scrubbing right through the end right now.
Big mouth. Bistan, maybe is the guy's name? Yeah, Bistan.
There you go.
He doesn't look like that, though.
There he is. I see him. Yeah, he's kind of like a lizard with like a squat face.
Draba Takatsop Directi.
Keep going. I can see it.
It's a long fucking
Keep going.
name.
Keep going.
Directi Niklinki Tiki Ki Kivefnik Ni Sivefli Kek.
That's a fantastic butchering.
That's a fantastic bitty is what that is.
We'll shorten it to POW.
Pow dog drama tactic sap directi Nick Linkity Kivef Nick Nisivef Likek. Okay.
Yes.
He must be Welsh.
Or he's from the culture. He's got like Batman greaves. But like whenever he like yells, like his mouth is like,
he looks like Yoda's asshole.
Is he like kind of bluish gray in skin color, Ben?
I just sent a link in WhatsApp.
All right. Oh wow.
Thanks for sending the Google search result.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks. Yeah, that's the guy.
Here,
Yeah, that's the dude.
I'm sending the wiki fandom.
Thank you.
There you go.
There we go. Thanks, Benny. There we go. Oh wow, he's got. Oh my God, his name is like 8 miles long. Holy shit!
Welcome to the joke.
That's what we were just doing.
Welcome to the fucking joke from 5 minutes ago.
I wasn't sure. No, I wasn't sure if you guys were taking the piss, dude. That's why.
No,
oh wow, it really is that long. Okay.
Yes, it is.
His name is inspired by Leeloo Dallas in a taxi cab. Big bada boom.
There you go. Right.
Yeah. Love him.
He's great.
He's cool. Yeah, he's cool.
I love that it was like a 5-minute lead up to you just being like, yeah, I love him. You know that guy? No, what is he? Oh, I think he's the big man. No, not the one from season 1. Oh, his name is Padman Jadawadanidi Bobo. Yeah, I like that guy.
Oh, there's his battle cry is here. Hold on. Let me see if I can dial this up.
Come again?
Oh, wait.
You hear that?
No, come again.
It's not letting me click. It's not letting me click on it.
That's because Betty's clicking on it. Only one person can click on it at a time in the internet.
In the fandom entry for him, there's a little like MP3 that you can click on for his battle cry.
This is Sakala.
And it's Sakala. And when he says that, his mouth is like, rah!
I love how fucking derailed we get.
It won't let me click. It won't let me click
do
on it for some reason.
Oh, fuck. Okay, well, shout out to that guy.
It's not allowing me to click on.
He's
that
a hard
battle cry
charger.
link. He's a hard charger. I think there's a cool nugget about the it kind of harkens back to what I was talking about before about the look.
Exactly.
That Gareth Edwards instructed. That Gareth Edwards instructed the art department to only use elements that would have been available in '77 to get the movie to look contemporary to A New Hope.
I don't understand what that means. I saw that. Like, what does that mean?
So that means using like materials that were only available in 1977.
Okay. Oh yeah,
to craft like costumes and set pieces and props.
Yeah.
Essentially, like that's kind of a super simplistic.
That makes sense. It's like, you can tell how interested Benny is in that particular nugget.
I can't. I'm so like the
Sorry,
other problem is.
No,
is
that's
that,
okay.
No, don't be sorry, dude. I'm just like I'm so pissed that this link won't let me click on it. It's
but the
all
best thing
grayed
about this,
out.
Kev, is that you keep clicking on it. You've got like 76 downloads of it on your desktop right now.
I hope that's not the case,
no. It just fires off in real time, so that's why I kept trying to like set up my mic and like turn up the gain so that it would actually catch it.
Yeah.
And then once I finally did, I was like, moron, I couldn't stop clicking it. Because I was like, oh no, it's definitely coming through. I can hear it through my headphones, so it's on the recording. Like you can hear it.
You're talking about the one that's right at the top of the page, right?
Yeah, there's his name.
It's
Yeah,
like right
it says
under
like his
it
name,
says Sakawa,
battle
it says
cry.
blah 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 blah.
It says
His battle
listen.
cry. And
Right,
you
it just
click it
doesn't.
and it
It's like
goes.
it doesn't click. It's all grayed out. It's fucking irritating me right now to no end. I don't understand why it won't fucking.
Well, that was Padarak, Drabatak, Sap, Directy, Nick, Linky T, Kiv F, Nick, Severef, Lickcack, everybody.
I love how Ben casually mentioned that he liked this lizard guy on the beach, and it like
Here we are.
spiraled into this like 20-minute thing.
Here we fucking are.
I know, right? All right, what else do you guys like about the movie? Bits and bobs.
I like Sakala. Galen Erskine. I like the opening. Actually, yeah. Like
We didn't even. Yeah, we didn't talk about.
We're done.
Mads
I
Mikkelsen
will
at
say
all.
in the theater, no crawl, and then it goes and it cuts to the rings of the planet looking like a Star Destroyer coming into the screen. That was awesome. And then the opening on that planet, I really liked.
I agree. I like that a lot too, man. I'm a big fan of Mads Mikkelsen. Like his work is just
him.
excellent.
He's so good that he could be a Skarsgård.
Dude, he's so good. He played a character in like this obscure little Western that I caught on Netflix 2 years ago that was so excellent, man. Like everything he does is just tip top. Guy's
great.
a freaking legend already. Yeah, he should be a Skarsgård, honorary Skarsgård. Although his
Good enough
brother,
on his own, but that's okay.
No.
Chad was the one that brought it up.
I did it.
I mean, his brother plays Admiral Thrawn in Ahsoka, so it's like,
Is that
what
his
are we
brother?
talking about? He does. Yeah, they don't need no freaking Skarsgård temporary foster child situation, dude. They got their own empire, bro.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Intended.
Hi.
Glaben. Yeah,
He's,
Galen Erso's well done.
They came across him in the TV adaptation of
Hannibal,
and
Yeah, I need to see
he's
that.
fucking excellent.
I know. I heard that
ever
was
since then. I've been
phenomenal.
like, who the fuck is this guy? He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Le Chiffre in Casino Royale.
That's where I
Daniel
first
Craig
saw him.
Bond movie,
Yeah.
and that's where I
And
first
then
saw him, and I was
Doctor
like, this guy
Strange.
is wow. Yeah, totally.
No, Le Chiffre
Dude,
would have
he
been
was-
where I was introduced to him for sure.
He was so funny in Doctor Strange, dude. Remember?
He was great.
And we're going to do this, Mr. Doctor. Okay. Mr. Doctor.
And his name is Mads, and I don't know if that's short for something, but
But it's a great name.
Great
Oh, he
name
was
for
in
a
that
great
Dial of
country.
Destiny too recently, which was nice. I enjoyed that one.
Dial
Mhm.
of Destiny. What's that?
The new Indiana Jones.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he kind of pops up everywhere. He's done some interesting movies. He's great.
did the de-aging in that piss you off? Or
I don't remember it, to be honest, but probably. I don't actually get grumpy about it anymore, other than just like, oh, okay, DH, whatever.
The Dial of Destiny. That was the new one. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, no, I didn't see that.
I keep seeing it on like a Disney and being like, oh, I should watch that. I haven't watched. Oh no, I did watch that. It was good. What else?
Nice. I
Yeah.
don't know.
the most recent Indiana Jones game was actually quite fun.
I've heard good things.
Really? Yeah, I saw
cool.
that, and I was like, I wonder if that's any good.
Yeah, that's like
Right?
that's like playing through an unseen Indiana Jones movie, essentially.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
You get to fuck up a shit ton of fascists and Nazis. It's great.
Ooh, that's the way. Punch them into propellers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean,
What could be better?
Sal
let
Guerrera's
inspiration be your
joining us,
guide.
everybody.
Old Saul.
Jimmy Smits. What else?
Love Jimmy, bro. I mean, Jimmy Smith is great. I've loved Jimmy for years.
Oh, what about the prison break, dude? Where K2 grabs her, is like, "Congratulations, you are being rescued."
You are being rescued. Yeah, that was cool.
Very heisty. Jyn Erso. We probably should shout out Jyn Erso. Felicity Jones was really awesome.
She was great, man.
She brought a lot of heart to the character. I wasn't familiar with her before seeing this.
I wasn't either, man. I don't really know what she's done, but like, I really just didn't like the character, you know, like,
Jyn.
yeah, and I was like, that's a compliment to her, right? Because she's playing the character in such a way, you know, like in such a good way that I find her sort of, you know, kind of detestable and a little.
She's just kind of broken, I
Insufferable.
guess. I didn't find her detestable.
Well, she was, man, you know, like her fucking dad, you know, all right, you got to go. And then Saw Gerrera was like, hey, you know, just, you'll be all right in this bunker. And then he never came back, you know. It was like, what a ride for that little girl, man. You know, no wonder she's so damn jaded, dude, you know, but it's a really emotional roller coaster that you go on with her throughout this movie, you know. And it's pretty wild, man. You know, it's just like you're little, you got to go down the hole, and you get rescued, and then you get abandoned again, and then you kind of just are like, "Fuck you and fuck everybody, man." You know.
Sure.
No, she really was, man. You know, I really was feeling for her. You know, it's like that's
Sure.
a lot of shit. You know, and then you get dragged back in. You know, then you get rescued by the rebellion. They're like, "All right, now we need you to do some shit. Can you do that?" And she's just like, "Fuck all of you, man." You know, like,
you have been rescued. You're
yes,
welcome.
Congratulations. Yeah. And then sees Saw Gerrera finally after all these years. He's like, "Oh, I knew you'd be fine."
Yeah,
and then he sees a hollow transmission of her dad, which is the last transmission he's ever made. And now he's dead, and now she knows for sure he's dead. Or no. Sorry, that's not exactly right because she says goodbye to him on Edu. So
yeah,
but
that like talk about brutal, dude. Is like she finally sees her dad. And he's like, I have so much to tell you.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Like, oh man.
Really, really harsh, man. And then she has to go back and confront Cassian because he was supposed to shoot her dad.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
That's a great scene.
Like,
he just doesn't give a fuck.
Man, it's just a lot.
Yeah, and he's like, I like that. It's like, I had every chance and I didn't take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That was a tough exchange.
Point of interest here, she played Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Darth Vader Ginsburg?
In a movie called On the Basis of Sex. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It should be Darth Vader, though.
Yeah, I kind of want to go back and forth between the two. What was on the basis of what? On the basis of sex? On the basis.
She played, the actual person.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I love it. I mean, she's great, man.
It's pretty good. Yeah, she's good.
I haven't seen it. Just
same.
Reading from IMDb here, but I'm curious now.
IMDb.
Sure. I feel like I don't know, man. I haven't seen her in a bunch of shit, but it doesn't mean she hasn't done a bunch of shit. She was in Deadshot. Is that crazy ass? Oh no, I was confusing that with the Vin Diesel
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. I don't know. I just think she did a good job.
I agree.
Anything else? Any other bits, bobs, nuggety bits?
I'm sure I'm leaving something on the table, but you can just go back and listen to the other episode we did about this movie and
the secret episode.
Split the difference. Yes. Yeah.
Well, nugs then.
Yeah, that's fine.
There's a billion nugs. The one that I think is worth sharing with the class was the first nug on the list, where I guess Gareth Edwards and his team found some film canisters while rummaging around at Lucasfilm, and it turned out that was the footage that they used for the gold leader, red leader stuff, which is cool.
Wow.
It's kind of a lucky find, which is pretty sweet, because it adds a lot. I love that connective tissue to episode 4. I suppose the very obvious nugget, sorry, not nugget, the very obvious bit and or bob that we missed is the Vader fucking shit up scene at the end, which was tacked on. It was not part of the original movie at all, and they just did it in the end as like it was pretty fucking awesome.
Well, you know what? It was like him really like coming after those guys in the ship. It was just oof, wow. It was scary, man. It was like really good. Yeah, it really was. It was crazy. I really enjoyed that. Grand Moff Tarkin's like, Vader will deal with them. And it's like there he is, just standing in space. It's like the ship's got a huge hole in it. And he's just standing there like,
right.
This is crazy, man.
Yep. That's it for me for nugs. You got any nugs?
Nah. I mean, the one I already said, the one that I really liked about him using the 1977 stuff, to really kind of, give it that connective tissue that I was so stoked about before, I will say, I like a good casting nugget though. And the other person that was of the two choices, there were two choices for Chirrut, and that was Donnie Yen and Jet Li.
It makes sense.
And his salary was cheaper. So
they took him.
I think so, yeah. It's great. Anyway, deaths. We actually had a couple deaths this week.
Sure there was
well, I had the between Phantom Menace and Last Jedi death.
That was pretty good.
So, it was good, right? And then I had the Ed Harris was Dumbledore death. Also, really
point. I want to see that.
So freaking
Speaking
stupid.
of,
I know. I would love to see
AI
that. Right?
generated films.
Yeah. And then who is Sonny and iRobot death? That was yours. That was fantastic. I mean, really
good.
Fantastic. So who is Sonny and iRobot? Wait, who Sonny? Who is that? iRobot.
It's like
The thing the movie was about. Anyway,
Spoon.
As far as
She's red hot spankable.
as far as
Spoon.
as far as recommendations go, like we've already said it. I've already said this numerous times, not just in this episode. This is like quintessential almost. You know, it's right up there with the original trilogy. Takes place in the same timeline. Go see it if you haven't. My God,
I think it's a watch the
This
show.
and this and Andor.
Second season. I think you'd enjoy. Well, I don't know. If it's a first viewing, I'd probably say watch it first. But if it's a repeat, I'd say refresh with season 2 first because it was, I don't know, a nice way to view it. I think. I'm curious what you think.
Great way to view it.
That's my recommendation, I guess.
I would almost say if you haven't seen it, then I would say watch season 1 and 2 of Andor first.
Yeah, okay.
And then watch this because I'm curious to see how that hits in somebody.
Sure.
I want to do that myself now. Just even though I've seen all of it, I want to watch it in that order just to see how it hits.
Sure.
So yeah.
And how? I totally agree.
Very nice.
Very nice.
So Slash, they do that's a
Slash.
Slash.
This place used to be great for hunting Slash.
Next week, we're doing Mute, which is a sci-fi flick on Netflix by Duncan Jones, the dude that did Moon, about Skarsgårds that can't talk.
There you go. Nice. That's it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Sayonara.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or at our website, ebd.fm/episodes/307. Additionally, if you'd like to support the show, there's a number of great ways you can do so. You can support us directly through Patreon, patreon.com/EBD podcast. You can also tell your friends and loved ones to check out our wonderful show. And finally, you can rate us and review us. It's very powerful, too, for helping us out. So please do. And that's about it. You want to join us on social media? You can do so on Instagram. We use the handle @EBD Podcast. Thanks for joining us for Rogue One. We'll see you next week. So long for now, folks.
Powdok Draba Takatsap Directi Nick. Wow, that's a long fucking name. Directi Niklin Ki Kivefnik Ni Sivefli Kek.
Fandaflaflian 764s.